You are aging right now. While you watch this sentence, inside every cell in your body, there's a counter, and it's going down. Not the clock on your wall, not your birthday, something far more fundamental, a biological countdown built into your DNA that determines not just how long you live, but how well. The man who figured this out was sitting on a subway train in Moscow in 1966. Nobody believed him for 20 years. Today, he discovers the foundation of a billion-dollar race to end human aging. This is Bonarixe, and today we go to the root of the most personal question in science. Why are you aging, and what's being done about it? Moscow. A young Soviet biologist is riding the subway home. He's been stuck on a problem for months. Every time a cell copies its DNA, it can't quite copy the very ends of the strand. Like a photocopier that always cuts off the last line of every page, every single time. And when watching the train pulls into the station, he sees something. The train tracks in at the platform wall. The locomotive moves forward, but the rail beneath it stays behind. What if every time your cells divide, they lose tiny pieces from the end of the DNA every single time? And what if when that pieces run out? So do you? He was right. Those tiny end pieces are called telomeres. Think of your chromosomes as shoelaces and telomeres as the plastic tips at the ends that keep them from unraveling. Without them, your DNA frays. Your cells malfunction. Your body breaks down. Every time your cells divide to helicate, fight a virus, replace a worn-out tissue, your telomeres get a little shorter, a little shorter, a little shorter, a little shorter, until one day they become critically short. The cell gets a signal, stop dividing. But it doesn't die. It does something scientists consider worse. It becomes what researchers call a senescent cell, informally a zombie cell. It just sits there, stuck, releasing inflammatory chemicals that slowly damage the healthy cells around it. One zombie cell, manageable. But by the time you are in your 60s, researchers suggest billions of your cells have entered this state, and that accumulation shows up everywhere, in your joints, in your arteries, in your brain. Now, here's where it gets genuinely fascinating. There's an enzyme called telomerase that can rebuild telomeres. Cancer cells activate it and divide indefinitely. They become, in a sense, biologically immortal. The question scientists are working on right now: can we activate telomerase in healthy cells safely without the cancer risk? Early results are promising, but telomeres are only part of the story. Engine 2. Right now, your DNA is absorbing roughly 10,000 damage events. Today alone, from UV light, from the oxygen you breathe, from inflammation, from the simple chemical chaos of being alive. Your body has repair systems, molecular crews working around the clock to fix these errors. But over decades, errors accumulate. Genes that should be active get silenced. Genes that should stay quiet start misfiring. Scientists call this epigenetic drift. The body is slowly misreading its own instructions. In 2023, Harvard researchers induced accelerated epigenetic drift in young mice. The animals age rapidly, then they partially reversed it. The mice didn't become immortal. They didn't fully reverse, but the biological markers of aging shifted measurably in the younger direction. For aging research, that's a landmark result. Engine 3. And this one surprises most people. Inside every cell, you have hundreds to thousands of mitochondria. They take the food you eat and convert it into the energy currency your body runs on, a molecule called ATP. When younger, mitochondria are numerous, efficient, and clean. They burn fuel almost completely. Maximum energy, minimal waste. But as you age, something shifts. Mitochondria have their own DNA separate from your main genome. And over time, that DNA accumulates damage too. They become less efficient. They start leaking reactive oxygen species, toxin molecules that attack the cell around them, which damage more mitochondria, which release more toxins, which damage more DNA, which shortens more telomeres. It's not one thing, it's a cascade. Three engines feeding each other: muscle weakens, mental fatigue, the exhaustion that sleep doesn't fully fix anymore. Much of what we are getting old is mitochondrial decline. But here's something remarkable. Exercise, specifically sustained cardiovascular effort, triggers a process called mitochondrial biogenesis. Your cells build new mitochondria, not repair the old ones, but fresh ones. Studies suggest regular aerobic exercise is associated with telomere lengths equivalent to someone nearly a decade younger. A decade from movement alone. The most accessible anti-aging tool we have has been available to humans for 300,000 of years. Three engines of aging: telomere shortening, epigenetic drift, mitochondrial decline. All three being actively targeted right now in 2026. Senolytics, drug that selectively clear senescent zombie cells, are already in human clinical trials. Early studies in patients with certain age-related conditions showed measurable improvement in physical function after targeted senolytic treatment. The science is early, but it's moving. Altus Labs, one of the most well-founded biology research organizations ever assembled, is pursuing partial cellular reprogramming. The goal: reset the epigenetic clock in human cells, not to immortality, but to younger, healthier functional state. Not science fiction, active research right now. And artificial intelligence is compressing what used to take decades of drug discovery into years. AI systems are identifying molecular patterns in aging biology that human researchers would have taken generations to find. We are not talking about the distant future. This decade will likely produce results in aging science that redefine what medicine is capable of. And here's something worth sitting with. If you are under 30 today, you may live long enough to see the first generation of age reversal therapies. Not slow aging, reverse it.
Olovnikov never received a Nobel Prize for what he saw on that Soviet train. His papers sat largely unrecognized for nearly 2 decades. But what he saw Watching that train stop at the platform was a threat, running from the fraying end of the chromosome through decades of research, all the way to the labs working on this right now. So was your soul's counting down? Telomere lengths, epigenetic accuracy, mitochondrial health, 3 counters running simultaneously in every cell in your body. What Olovnikov couldn't have known in 1966, that one day we'd not only understand what's being counted, but began to figure out how to slow the count. And we're watching that figuring out happen right now.
Subscribe to Bonarixe, 2 videos weekly on science that actually matters, and I wanted to ask you something real, drop it in the comments. If a drug existed today that could reset your biological age by 20 years, but the long-term effects were still unknown, would you take it? I genuinely want to know what you think. Next week, we go inside the labs where scientists are testing drugs designed to hunt down and destroy zombie souls in living humans. The early results were not what anyone expected. See you there.